Hello, I'm Philip Stoughton. I'm at Apex 2024 and I'm joined by IPC President John Mitchell.
Hey Phil.
John, great to see you.
Good to be here.
I wanted to talk about some topics that I think are kind of bubbling up to the top of significance within the industry. One of them is diversity, and I think diversity is important for a couple of reasons. One, because it's the right thing to do. Two, because it reflects what consumers are. They're a diverse bunch, so you get value out of it. But three, it really opens up more of the talent pool, and that's a challenge at the moment.
It is, and so on the diversity side of things, one, it's just, as you say, we're struggling. I'll take it in reverse order from what you offered. We're struggling as an industry to find the right people. And why would we limit or eliminate entire pools of people that we could be accessing? The other piece that I found is, and research supports this, that when you have a diverse group, you get better solutions. I mean, data has shown that it's more profitable, you have better cash flow, you get better, quicker solutions, more decision making. And so, I think of it kind of like potpourri. You don't want to eat lettuce all day long, but potpourri is a mixture of different flours and oils and stuff, and it lasts forever. And it just makes its own aroma, and it creates a brand new scent for you. So diversity just helps us create better whatever we're working on.
And I've seen some really interesting initiatives. I was speaking to Nicole Rousseau from Microboard. They have a strategy that is working with neurally diverse people, and it's apparently 6% of the workforce here. It's a big potential employment base with real talent.
Yeah, there's her organization. There's another organization called, I think it's called Pride Industries, in which they literally take people who have various diversity or physical challenges, and they train them up in the industry, and they're able to contribute, which is fantastic. The other thing that I am pleased to see, now we're not there yet, but last night we had the reception for women in electronics. Something like 100 people were there. And I loved Karen McConnell told a funny little story at the beginning. She goes, this is great that I'm not the only woman here anymore, but the downside of this is I now have to wait in line in the bathrooms.
That
didn't used to ever be the case.
That was never the case. So when you look at what IPC are doing, and it's kind of interesting to see the women that you have within your own organization. But how are you helping? If one of your member companies is trying to improve their diversity, do you have strategies that can help them?
So the actual hiring always relies with the company. What we try to do is we try to provide materials that are accessible to all different kinds of groups. You mentioned neurodiversity. There's also, we're talking about gender diversity, but in addition, region, education, age, all of those things factor into it. And so we try to create our materials such that anybody can be brought in to be trained in the industry.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. And speaking of your material, I actually got to speak to a couple of people that had really leveraged your material. One in the training side that had really achieved huge value. And the guy actually talked to me about one of his members of staff that was what you might call a problem member of staff that they maybe just hadn't invested in. When they invested properly and the training was done, that person became a star employee.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I love to hear stories like that.
That's exactly what you're going to hear. And they'd done one course, and I think now they're on their 16th. So they were getting really good value from that. But the other area that I think is really interesting is the apprenticeship program. And I've spoken to a couple of people that have started to use that and are really excited about that. And Stephanie and Michael from Zentech are a great example and seem to be kind of a bit of a flag bearer for it. It's good to see what they're doing.
We're just excited. I mean, forever the industry's had to invest in their own ways to train. We're trying to help with that, and it's great that in this case the United States has recognized our program as official apprenticeship program. So now there's government funds available to invest not just in the IPC training that you get, but in if you have a mentor or somebody working with them, it can help cover some of those costs as well. But it varies state by state.
And it is addressing a problem we have, which is a real talent shortage. And one of the concerns here in the US is we're seeing growth through reshoring, which is an exciting development. That needs to not stall just because we can't recruit and train people quick enough.
And that is a challenge. We hear of a lot of companies either trying to build new here or bring back that just can't find the talent they need.
So I wanted to switch gear and talk a little bit about sustainability. It's another thing that's bubbling up to the top in people's minds. We're seeing a lot of EMS companies put out their ESG reports every year. They're all using different measures, different KPIs, so we're not in a position where we can measure and compare perhaps as well as we'd like to. But it is something that's becoming more important. Talk to me a little bit about what IPC sees, where it sees its role in that.
Yeah, so I believe sustainability will be the largest change to the electronics industry over the next 10 years, and it's happening now. IPC's role will at least take the roles of some of our traditional aspects. We're going to try to standardize and provide methodologies for that reporting you're talking about, as well as some areas that just aren't well documented in terms of standardization. We're going to be trying to provide training so that we can help people become sustainable designers, actually operate their plant better. Training on how and which chemicals can be substituted to use better and more green chemicals as we go forward. So we're looking to be all in and engaged in that. The board literally just approved additional resources for me to work with the industry to go undertake even more activities than we have in the past.
Okay, that's a good initiative, and I think that ability to measure, and one of the things that IPC does very well is create standards, and if there are standards in that sector, it will make a big difference, and it will hopefully help people along that path.
Well, and it doesn't have to be just standards. It's also, we do a good job in methodologies. So we're trying to standardize for our industry the reporting, because like you mentioned, everybody's making different kinds of requests, referencing different standards. So we're trying to create a vernacular so everyone can be talking the same language, reporting things the same way. When you see this is what this means. Give them examples so that we get that consistency coming through.
Yeah. And John, we're back in Anaheim. After many years in San Diego, people got used to their favorite spots, their favorite restaurants. They've now got a new process. How's it been for IPC? It seems to have worked in terms of attendance. There are plenty of people here.
Yeah, attendance is up, so we're very pleased with that. We were a little nervous about it, right? A change is always a nervous thing, but frankly, we're hearing really good things. The show floor is active. The attendance registrations are up, so we're really pleased. We hope that it feels more comfortable next year because we've done that already.
Yeah, that's right, and we're here for 5 years. I actually really like the hall. It's a bit different from that very long walk we had all the way through San Diego. So having something a little bit squarer is kind of nice.
It is.
Anyway, John, pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much for your time, and look forward to next time. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.